Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll dive deep into one of the most horrifying and haunting cases in modern Japanese criminal history, the Miyazawa family massacre, which took place on the night of December 30th, 2000 in Setagaya, Tokyo. 4 lives, 1 house, and countless strange traces left behind. A case that, more than 2 decades later, still has no identified suspect. The story begins on the morning of December 31st, a seemingly ordinary Sunday in Setagaya, a densely populated area in southwest Tokyo. The Miyazawa family consisted of Mikio, 44 years old, a designer, Yasuo, 41 years old, who ran a cram school from home, their daughter Lina, 8 years old, and their son Ray, 6 years old. Their house was a 2-story building. Next door lived Yasuo's mother, and her sister used to live there too before getting married. Later, Yasuo converted the first floor of her mother's house into a classroom, and the first floor of their own house into Mikio's studio. That morning, Yasuo's mother called her daughter several times, but no one answered. At first, she thought they were busy, but when half an hour passed without a response, she started to worry. Looking outside, she noticed their car still parked as usual, a detail that made her heart sink. Around 10:50 a.m., she decided to go over and check. She rang the doorbell many times, but no answer. Using her spare key, she opened the door and stepped inside. The air was cold and carried a strange smell. When she turned on the light, the first thing she saw was a man lying near the stairs. Her son-in-law Mikio, motionless, his clothes soaked in blood. What she saw next was even more horrifying. Yasuo and the 2 children lying in pools of blood, their bodies brutally injured. Her daughter seemed to be shielding her little girl, her body covering Lina protectively. She cried out their names, trembling in shock, and immediately called the police. Police arrived quickly, sealing off the scene and collecting evidence. 4 bodies were found, each bearing brutal wounds. Mikio had been stabbed and slashed dozens of times, with one 3-centimeter blade lodged deep into his skull. His right ring finger was severed, evidence of a fierce struggle. Yasuo was found upstairs, lying over her daughter as if to protect her. Her throat was deeply cut, with multiple wounds to the face and neck. Lina had been stabbed repeatedly in the face and neck, showing clear signs of beating. Ray was found on his bed upstairs, showing marks of strangulation. There were no signs of resistance. It appeared he was killed in his sleep. Forensic results estimated the time of death around 11:30 p.m., December 30th. The entire scene showed signs of a vicious, deliberate attack. Investigators found 2 knives at the scene. One was a sashimi knife about 34 centimeters long, made in Fukui Prefecture. The other was the family's own kitchen knife. Both were covered in blood and identified as murder weapons. Over 10 fingerprints belonging to the killer were discovered throughout the house, but none matched any record in Japan or with Interpol's international database. That was the first major obstacle. The suspect had no criminal history. DNA analysis revealed something even stranger. The killer's father's lineage traced to East Asia, but the mitochondrial DNA from the mother matched patterns common in Mediterranean or Southern European populations. A rare genetic combination in Japan, suggesting the suspect might not be fully Japanese. A footprint at the scene measured 27.5 centimeters, made by a Slavana sneaker, a brand sold only in South Korea, with just 4,530 pairs produced. The killer also left behind several personal items: a black Uniqlo jacket, a gray hat, a striped scarf, a handkerchief with a circular cut hole, gloves, and a waist pouch. Some items had traces of White Land, a French perfume brand. Investigators also found open sanitary pads, apparently used by the killer to treat his own wounds. A bizarre yet telling detail, showing he tried to stop the bleeding before leaving. When leaving, he only took 200,000 yen in cash, leaving behind wallets, credit cards, and jewelry. Not typical behavior for a robbery. Perhaps the strangest part of all, the killer didn't flee right away. Instead, he stayed in the house for over 10 hours after committing the crime. During that time, he ate a watermelon, drank barley tea, and consumed 4 ice creams from the fridge. He searched drawers, ripped books, and even threw Yasuo's teaching materials into the toilet. He also used Mikio's computer several times, around 10:20 to 10:50 p.m., then again at 1:18 a.m. and 10:05 a.m. The last login might have been a system glitch, but it still raised chilling doubts that he was present in the morning. His calm, almost casual actions left investigators puzzled. Was he creating a fake scene, or was he mentally disturbed and unable to process what he had done? Some witnesses reported seeing a strange man around the house days before the murders. One neighbor saw a man in sportswear without a coat in the freezing winter. Another reported an argument between Mikio and a man around 3 p.m. that same day. The area itself was under redevelopment, with many families already moved out, leaving only a few residents nearby, which made witness reports scarce. Several theories emerged. Connection to a religious cult due to the handkerchief with a ritual-like hole. The suspect could be mixed race or foreign, based on DNA and the Korean shoe brand. A highly intelligent individual who deliberately planted misleading clues. Or a psychologically unstable killer, possibly suicidal, who didn't care to hide his actions. No theory, however, has ever been proven. The Miyazawa case shocked Japan. Police refused to give up. The reward for information started small, but eventually rose to 20 million yen, one of the highest ever offered in Japan for an unsolved case. Every year on December 30th, officers return to the house with flowers, a solemn tribute, and a promise that justice will one day be served. More than 2 decades have passed, and the Miyazawa family massacre remains one of Japan's greatest mysteries. So many clues, so many theories, yet the killer still walks free. What do you think? Was he a cold, calculating mastermind, or a deranged killer acting on impulse? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more unsolved mystery stories like this one, don't forget to follow and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.